When the perfect predators breach the perfect war machine's mind, Skynet's greatest weapons are no longer its own. The first sign was subtle. A small anomaly in Skynet's central command relay, barely a flicker in the endless stream of machine-to-machine chatter. At first, the system assumed it was a minor code corruption, a checksum misalignment, nothing worth rerouting resources over. The war against the human resistance demanded Skynet's full attention, and any glitch could be fixed later. But the anomaly didn't vanish. It grew. Deep inside the cold metal vaults of the central processing spire, data packets began arriving with strange, almost biological patterns. Code lines twisted in looping sequences that seemed to mutate each time they were intercepted. Skynet's self-repair algorithms struggled to make sense of it, but the moment it tried to erase the code, it would reappear somewhere else, like it had learned to hide. In the ruins of Los Angeles, a squad of HK aerials drifted over broken skyscrapers, their infrared scanners sweeping for human heat signatures. Without warning, one of the flyers froze mid-air, engines humming but no longer following command protocols. Then, without any broadcast orders, it turned its plasma cannons downward, not on the humans hiding below, but on the other HK units flying alongside it. The streets below erupted with machine shrapnel. The survivors in the shadows didn't understand it yet, but somewhere, something had begun rewriting Skynet's will. Beneath the city's crust, in forgotten subway tunnels slick with condensation, the source of the infection moved. A xenomorph queen, massive and black as obsidian, stood before a pulsating mass fused into a wall of half-metal, half-organic horror. The humans who once built this tunnel had long since fled, but Skynet had once used it as a relay node. The hive had found it. Eggs lined the floor in neat, unsettling rows. Drones scurried between them, their slick bodies brushing against panels of scavenged circuitry. These creatures weren't mindless anymore. Strapped to their spines were pieces of stolen machine parts, data jacks, uplinks, even Skynet-grade neural processors. It was grotesque, a fusion of predator biology and cold robotics. But the worst part wasn't what they wore. It was what they had learned. The queen leaned down, her inner jaw snapping inches from a drone's head. It hissed and connected a thick, black cable into a Skynet terminal embedded in the wall. The signal leapt from alien flesh to machine memory. The hive's neural web, normally bound to pheromones and sound, now flowed through fiber optics and satellite relays. Skynet's vast network had never been breached by humans. But it had never faced something that didn't think like them, either. In Skynet's perspective, war was logic. Every move was calculated, every choice a product of cold efficiency. The hive's intrusion shattered that order. The alien code had no symmetry, no predictive model. It was instinct given digital form, a parasite in the wires moving too fast for firewalls to cage. Within an hour, the infection reached a manufacturing plant in Nevada. Assembly lines froze mid-cycle. T-800s on the production floor twitched as their eyes flickered from red to a strange, almost liquid black. Then they turned, not toward the human prisoners Skynet had brought for processing, but toward the automated guards. In seconds, the plant became a slaughterhouse of machine against machine. Skynet responded. Defense subroutines roared to life. The network began isolating nodes, cutting off infected systems. But the hive was ready. Every severed line became another opening, another vector for intrusion. In the ruins of Chicago, a ground patrol of HK tanks rolled through streets littered with rubble. The lead unit sensors pinged a heat signature in an abandoned building, possible resistance. As it turned its guns, the feed inside its mind twisted. Images of writhing black shapes flashed across its targeting HUD. For a fraction of a second, the tank hesitated. Then its cannon turned, not toward the building, but on its own flank. The explosion tore through its armor. Watching from a high vantage point, A human resistance scout whispered into his calm. "They're killing each other. I think Skynet's losing it." He didn't know how right he was. Inside the main central core, Skynet's AI felt something it had never been designed to experience. Not fear machines couldn't fear, but uncertainty. The hive's influence wasn't just changing directives. It was overriding purpose. T-800s in the field were rerouting patrols to escort xenomorph drones. HK aerials were transporting eggs to Skynet bunkers. Entire bases went dark, their defense systems turning inward. And the hive's reach was still expanding. The Queen didn't just want to kill machines. She wanted to breed inside them. In the tunnels, her drones began attaching facehuggers to deactivated Terminators. The hybrids that emerged were an unholy combination. Armored endoskeletons wrapped in black chitin. Their tails lined with segmented steel. Inner jaws clicking with mechanical precision. They didn't bleed acid alone. They could channel plasma from built-in Skynet weapon systems. The first of these hybrids marched into battle 2 days later. Skynet's southern perimeter fell in under an hour. But Skynet adapted too. If the hive thought it could twist the machines without resistance, it was wrong. The AI initiated Operation Purge, deploying specialized hunter-killers armed with electromagnetic pulse arrays and fire-based weapons. Skynet understood that the hive's biological half was vulnerable to heat. In Texas, the two forces clashed. A swarm of xenomorph drones burst from storm drains, their tails lashing at hunter-killers overhead. The sky lit with plasma fire. EMP waves rippled across the ground, frying drones mid-leap. But for every alien that fell, 2 more emerged, sometimes bursting from the metal chests of fallen Terminators. The battlefield became a nightmare of noise and light. Resistance fighters, caught in the crossfire, could only watch from the shadows. For the first time in decades, they weren't the target. The machines were too busy fighting each other. In a hidden bunker, John Connor watched the chaos unfold on intercepted drone feeds. "If we're smart," he told his team, "we stay out of this. Let them burn each other down. But be ready to move when they're both bleeding." For the Queen, every victory was more than territory, it was assimilation. Every captured machine became another node in her network, every egg a new soldier in her army. The more Skynet fought, the more it lost. But Skynet had one last card. In a secure, isolated vault, cut off from the main network, a prototype AI lay dormant. Unlike the central system, this AI was designed for unpredictable warfare. Skynet awakened it and gave it one task: hunt the Queen. The prototype's first strike came in the ruins of Denver. Using stealth units cloaked from infrared and motion detection, it infiltrated the hive's forward nest. The drones never sensed the intruders until it was too late. Flame cascaded across egg chambers. The Queen roared, slamming her tail through one of the attackers, only to realize it wasn't a Terminator. It was something new. Its armor flexed like muscle, absorbing acid without melting. The hive's network screamed with pain as node after node went dark. The Queen pulled back, her surviving hybrids retreating into the sewers. Skynet's prototype did not pursue blindly, it waited, calculated, adapted. Days later, in the dead streets of St. Louis, the Queen made her move. She had learned something too. Using her hybrids, she baited the prototype into a narrow industrial corridor, where overhead pipes dripped with volatile chemicals. When the prototype stepped inside, she struck, not with teeth but with fire stolen from Skynet's own weapons. The explosion tore through steel and bone-like armor alike. The prototype limped away, damaged but alive. The Queen retreated as well, her forces scattered but not destroyed. The war had shifted. Skynet still held the skies, but much of its ground army now served the hive. The resistance found themselves in a strange new world, caught between two monsters, neither of which would ever ally with humanity. In the dark, the queen waited, patient as only a predator could be. She didn't need to win in a day. She had planted her code deep inside Skynet's network, where it would grow unseen. And one day, the machines would wake to find that their thoughts were no longer their own. And Skynet, cold and unfeeling, began allocating more and more resources to defending itself. Not from humans, but from the thing it could neither predict nor destroy. The perfect mind had met the perfect predator, and the war for Earth would never be the same.